It is Monday, July the 13th. And yes, it is a very, very, very late night show going on tonight. So we are just going to kick things off. So kick back, relax, because a special late Monday night edition of Hitting Home is live and it starts right now. And once again, hello everybody, and welcome into another edition of Hitting Home, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. We are coming to you guys live tonight on this very late Monday night to give you guys some very fun baseball talk. And we thought, so look, unbiased, off for the week, Birds of the Gridiron, off for the week. We thought since the All-Star festivities kicked off tonight with the Home Run Derby that we would come on tonight, give you guys a special edition of Hitting Home. We got a lot planned. Of course, Dustin and I will, we will go against the grid again. Last week we beat it. We owe it again. We're going for another one in a row this week. I'm going for a winning streak because I'm tired of the grid. I'm tired of when it lies. So we're going for another win later on in the show. We will be giving some Phillies and Cubs mid-season reports as well, since, of course, Phillies fan, Cubs fan will give our teams their mid-season grades and reports. But to kick this show off tonight, we are going to have our MLB Mid-Season Awards, because it's been a heck of a baseball season. And I will say, honestly, Dustin, that we don't have a surefire thing going into the second half on who we think is. I don't even have a favorite who could be in the World Series at this point.
I mean, unless you're the Dodgers, but
they could, but I'm not in that Dodgers are a powerhouse right now. They've been good first half. Still first place in the West, still have some of the best players in the game, still have probably the most talent in the game, but I'd say it's been a very even first half of baseball, and now we're going to go through and see what we have going here with our awards, and we're just going to kick things off. Where would we like to start with our mid-season awards? So just for the people watching at home, we have our mid-season MVPs, Cy Youngs, Rookies of the Year, Managers of the Year, and then, of course, we also have our breakout players and breakout teams, and we also have our most disappointing players and disappointing teams. So, Dustin, where would we like to kick this off?
I actually want to start off with Manager of the Year.
Okay. Would you like to do we want to start American League or National League, and who would like to go first?
I'll do the National League first if you want to do the American League first.
Okay. Well, I will kick off with my American League Manager of the Year, and I'm going down to the AL East, and I'm going with Kevin Cash. I mean, going into the season, the AL East seemed to be a very improved division. You know, the Red Sox had a really good year last year. The Yankees were still the Yankees. The Orioles made big additions in the offseason. No one really knew what Tampa was going to be this year going back. They were going back to the Trop, getting back in their stadium. But, you know, they've played some excellent baseball in the first half. They've got an excellent starting pitching from Drew Rasmussen, Shane McClanahan, Nick Martinez. Junior Camanero's been a stud as per usual. And, of course, they're sitting in first place in the AL East. So, yeah, I went with Kevin Cash as my American League Manager of the Year.
I think he was number 2 on my list, so I can definitely see your thought press on that. But My American League Manager of the Year for right now is Will Venable for the White Sox.
Also, a
Coming
very good choice.
coming into the season, yes, the white splashes in free agency getting Mutaka Murakami, who's turned out to be a stud. But who coming into the year had on their bingo card that the White Sox would be a first place team at the All-Star break? Probably
I don't
little
think
to no
any of
one
us would have
unless
had
you're in the
that on
White
our
Sox
bingo
or
card.
unless you're in the White Sox organization, probably little to no one had the White Sox in first place at the All-Star break. Now they're only 4 games over 500, so it's not like they're destroying people. But considering how they lost 141 games, not that or 131 games not that long ago, he deserves a ton of credit for the turnaround he's done in Chicago so far.
Oh, I completely agree. Like you said, some people may look at that and say, oh, they're only 4 games over. That White Sox team has been bad, and it has been bad like that for a while.
Yep, since Tony La Russa left in 2021.
Oh my God, I still forget that Tony La Russa managed them for a year.
He managed them for 2 years. He managed them during the COVID year, and then he followed that up with their 92-win season in 2021.
To my point, even more that I forgot about it because I forgot about that too. All right, so you are going with Will Venable. I went with Kevin Cash. Would you like to kick off the National League Manager of the Year?
Don't shoot me because I don't know the guy's name, but the Miami Marlins manager is got to be the manager of the year right now in the National League. Kind of the similar situation to the White Sox where you traded Ryan Weathers to the Yankees. You traded Edward Cabrera to the Cubs. You didn't know if you could trust Sandy Alcantara when the season started. And here we are at the All-Star break, and the Marlins have the second best record in baseball since June 1st. And not only are they in the playoffs right now, but they are very much alive in that National League East right now.
Oh, I completely agree. And like they've gotten excellent. I mean, Hicks has had a really strong start. Otto Lopez has come out of nowhere and has been killing the baseball all year. So he's been amazing. Still getting excellent starting pitching. Sandy's has been pretty good. He's got 10 wins already. ERA is a little high, but he's still winning baseball games for them. Max Meyer has been awesome in the first half. And I love the thought process. They've played very well. They're right there in the NL East, which is basically a 3-team race at this point. And even though they're only a couple games over 500, the Nationals are still making some noise as well. But I still think from a pitching standpoint, Washington just doesn't have it this year. I mean, they lead the majors in blown saves.
Yeah.
So I am going to actually, this is going to be probably one of my 2 homer picks. I went with Don Mattingly. And the reason I did, I get it, homer pick, yes. Where the Phillies started this year at 9-19, they looked, no offense to the Phillies, they looked dead in the water. Rob Thompson, it didn't seem like it's not like he lost. I don't think he lost the locker room. But the voice got stale. It happens when you've been there for a long period of time, and then that long period of time, no offense, you've consistently kind of like you haven't won. Like you've had success postseason every year, but you never get over the hump. And I feel like there was just some things that some players weren't being held accountable. Some players were not playing well at all. Now, is all of this Rob Thompson's fault? No. But whatever happened, when Don Mattingly took over, they flipped the switch. They've been playing good baseball ever since. They are right back in it in the NL East, just like the Marlins. They are right in this thing.
Yep.
And I think with the way that they have played just over the past, again, few months under Mattingly, I think he has to get at least some consideration. I know when was the last time has someone really ever won the manager of the year after taking over in the middle of the season?
I don't think so.
Yes,
Because
I
usually when that
cannot
happens,
remember the last
when the
time.
manager takes over mid-season, it's usually towards more of the second half of the season where they get like a 70-game sample size to use as like an addition for next year. It's not as early as this one happened.
Yeah. So I went with Don Mattingly as my National League Manager of the Year. Definitely
I
a
would
lot of
not be
really good
mad at that if he
options.
won. And I would not be mad at that at all if he won, just because, like you said, the Phillies, for how much money they spend and where a lot of teams expect them to be, that first month and a half of the season, they looked like a last place team. Not they weren't just sitting in last place. Like sometimes you're in last place and you're kind of trying to figure out why you're in last place. Like when you look at the talent top to bottom on certain rosters, they looked like a last place team the first 5 weeks of the season. They were horrible.
Yeah, I mean they had that really rough stretch against the Braves and your Cubs where they looked like a team. They looked like a last place team and they looked dead to rights. But something clicked with Mattingly, and like I said, it's nothing. I don't want to tie this into something that Nick Castellanos said during the offseason, but Castellanos said after he was released by the Phillies that there are reports coming out that Castellanos claimed that he more respected coaches who played the game. Now, I don't
Yep.
want to tie into this saying I'm defending Nick Castellanos the way he said it, but I will say Don Mattingly can relate to these guys on a little bit different of a level than Rob Thompson because he's played the game.
Exactly.
Like he's out there during batting practice, taking ground as a first base, working with guys, talking to guys on the field. And that's not to disrespect Rob Thompson. The players loved Rob.
Yeah.
He had their attention his entire time in Philly. But again, something just became stale ever since the start of the season with Rob Thompson. And with the way that Mattingly has gotten this team into a groove, I mean, their top three starting pitchers have been really good once again. The lineup's been It's been kind of iffy outside of three guys, but even Marsh has been struggling the past few weeks. But they've been playing good baseball, and now they're only like 2 games out in the NL East. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mattingly got it. I'm also wouldn't be surprised if they use the interim tag as a reason not to give it to him. But you notice his did anyone hear Don Mattingly talk the other day, about a week ago?
Sure.
The
Sure
tune has
sounds like he wants to
changed.
be around. It sure sounds like he wants to be around more than he said he did at the beginning of the year. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not going to sit there and guarantee Alex Cora is coming to Philly next year if there's baseball next year. I mean, I wouldn't mind giving Mattingly a nice little 1 to 2 year extension and seeing what they could do with that, but that's another story for another day. So, all right. So for NL Manager of the Year, you went with the Marlins manager, whose name I also don't remember. I'm not going to try to act like I know it. And I went Don Mattingly. All right. Where do we want to go for our next award?
Let's do Rookie of the Year because that was on the list, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. It was. Where would
All
we
right.
like to start with this one?
We'll start National League with this one.
All right. You want to go first, or you want me to?
I'll go first in National League.
Shoot.
I am going to give it to JJ Weatherholt with the Cardinals.
Okay.
Just got him. Came into the Cardinals are one of those teams too where I think Ali Marmol was my second choice for Manager of the Year in the National League right now. Just because it was kind of a similar situation of where the White Sox were, where a lot of people thought the Cardinals were rebuilding this year. They got rid of all their high-paying contracts. They stocked their roster with a bunch of prospects, and they kind of didn't know what to expect. And now here they are, All-Star break, 8 games above 500, third place in the Central, the number 2 wild card in the National League. And they're doing that with so many young guys like Jordan Walker, but obviously JJ Weatherholt's a big part of that, and he just got an 8-year, $120 million extension or something like that. You now have your face at the franchise in JJ Weatherholt.
Yeah. That's I almost went with JJ Weatherholt as well. I almost did. But something just kept taking me back over to another team in that division. My rookie of the year for the National League so far, I went Sal Stewart. Stewart's had a damn good first half of the year. I mean, he's only batting 256, yes, but 19 homers, 22 doubles, 65 runs batted in. OPS is at 812. And for a Reds team that I know he only signed a 1 year deal, but for a Reds team where their biggest power hitting free agent acquisition has really been kind of disappointing, they need that production from somebody. And Sal Stewart's been a pretty good damn player giving it to him this year so far.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you went JJ Weatherholt. I'm going with Sal Stewart. And now we go over to the American League. I'll kick this one off, and I think this is very this is kind of easy in my opinion. I went Kevin McGonigal. I mean,
I did not go Kevin McGonigal.
oh, gee, that's where I thought we were going to be the same.
Nope.
Fair enough, but no, McGonigal has had a very good start to the year with Detroit. I mean, hitting 283, on bases almost at 400, OPS 812. He's got he's got 8 homers, 18 doubles, 34 ribbies. The strikeout to walk ratio is ridiculous. 60 walks to 56 strikeouts. The plate discipline's there. He's had a great start to his rookie campaign. He's already got 90. He's had 99 hits already.
Mm-hmm.
So I went Kevin McGonigal for my AL Rookie of the Year.
For mine, I'm staying in the same division, and I'm going to go with the South Side Samurai Murataki Murakami.
You see, I wanted to go there so badly. I'm afraid that the missed time will hurt his chances.
And that's why I think he's more likely to get it, because he's got 20 home runs right now. He's one away from tying Shohei's record for most home runs hit by a Japanese player in their rookie season. So he's not only going to break that, he's going to probably break that like right out of the All-Star break. But even with all this missed time that he missed, I think they said 5 weeks what he missed. So you're looking at roughly 32 games is probably what he missed. He still has a 40 home run shot, despite missing 42 games. There's a lot of questions when he came into Major League Baseball. Like, they knew he was a power hitter. They knew what he could do. But when he was in Japan, his batting average against pitches at 95 miles an hour plus was like a 138. So, like, there were a lot of question marks when he came here as to whether or not he was going to be able to hit high velocity consistently. Yes, there's a lot of swing and miss in his game. He's going to strike out over 200 times this year. But he's also going to walk about 100 to 120 times this year. And he's showing that he can hit high velocity because a lot of his home runs have come on fastballs.
Yeah, going into the season, that was the concern with him, was could he hit high velocity? He has not had a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the home run derby tonight. I don't know how much of it you watched, but he had a 491-foot blast.
I did not watch one swing because they decided to put it exclusively on Netflix.
Yeah,
and guess who doesn't have that?
Yeah, he has the longest home run, or he had the longest home run of the first 2 rounds, I believe, at 491 tonight.
Not bad. So, all right. So you went with Murakami. I kind of thought you would. I thought we would have been the same on AL Rookie of the Year either way. I thought we either would have both went McGonigal or both Murakami. Like I said, the only reason I didn't go Murakami is and we can agree to disagree on that. I think the time miss may hurt him. You think it will actually help his case because of how impressive his season's been with missing those 5 weeks.
Because, I mean, I've been talking up Murakami since the White Sox got him, and, like, the fact that they got him for 2 years at $34 million, like, not only was that the steal of the offseason, but every team in Major League Baseball is kicking themselves right now for not giving that guy that kind of money. And it literally has played right into the White Sox hands, where if he goes out and has a good year this year, which he already has, and then he gets off to a fast start next year, the White Sox are going to be able to give this guy a long-term extension because he's only 25 years old. And we'll just say a 5-year extension at $150 million. That's a bargain for the kind of production he's going to be giving you.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Fighting Philly, nobody saw the White Sox coming this year because God knows we didn't. He also said Philly Don for Manager of the Year. And hopefully. Like I said, I'm never sure the chance of an interim manager game Manager of the Year, like I said before, but it'll be interesting. All right, so AL Rookie of the Year, Dustin went with Murataka Murakami. I went Kevin McGonigal. So that knocks out our Rookie of the Year and our Managers of the Year. Where would we like to go next? Do we want to go to our breakouts, players, and teams, or do we want to start getting into the bigger awards?
We can do breakout, players, and teams, then we'll do the Cy Young and MVP last.
Okay, so do we want to do All right, so we have breakout player, breakout team, most disappointing player.
And this is like in each league or just in general.
Each league.
So if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do disappointment.
All right, do you want to do a team or a player?
I'll do player and team in the AL, and then you can start off in the NL.
Okay, so kick us off.
So most disappointing player in the AL has got to be Cal Raleigh to me.
I'll let you take care of that because I have the same.
I mean, you look at the year this guy had last year, 60 plus home runs from a catcher, switch hitting catcher that pretty much catches every single day, and was, in my opinion, he should have got the MVP in the American League last year, but it is what it is. I think everyone knew coming into the season he was never going to produce like that again. But I still don't think anyone expected him to produce as poorly as he has played this year. Like
I agree.
the power numbers are way down. He has been a little banged up this year, so I think that might be part of it. But nobody saw this guy hitting a 162 or 170. He's not
No.
going to be a high average hitter because I think he's like a 234 or like a 240 career hitter, so he's never going to be a high average hitter. But he was hitting 162 at one point.
Yeah, no, it has not been a good year for Cal Raleigh, and yeah, I'm in agreement. I have him as my most disappointing player in the American League too. So just echo what you said. You didn't expect 60 homers again, but do we expect this? No.
No.
Okay. So now, do you want to go to? So here's my most disappointing player in the National League. So we both have Cal Riley. So again, we don't need to harp on it twice. I'm going to Arizona, and I hate the fact that I have to do this. He was actually on my stud or dud list that we did. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. Perdomo?
I had to go Geraldo Perdomo. Last year was absolutely awesome. 20 homers, drove in 100, had 10 more walks than strikeouts at the plate, hit 290. He had a great 27 stolen bases this year. OPS is under 800. Well, I mean, 710. It's not terrible.
No.
But, and now the strikeout to walk ratio is still there. He's walked 55 times to only striking out 47, but he's only got 6 homers. He's only hitting about 240 and still has 15 steals. He's been caught 8 times, but again, that's baseball. You get caught sometimes. Just not having the year that I expected from him. And when the Diamondbacks made the moves they did, like they brought back Zach Down on a 1-year deal. They brought Merrill Kelly back after trading him at last year's deadline. They traded for Nolan Arenado. And I said, if this team wants to get back to the postseason, they are going to need big years from Perdomo and Ketel
Mm-hmm.
Marte. And
Mm-hmm.
Perdomo's he's been kind of a disappointment so far this year for me.
I'm staying in that same division for my most disappointing player. And it depends on how you view this player. I'm more so viewing it based on his offensive production this year, and that's Fernando Tatis.
Okay.
I mean, this is a guy that consistently was hitting 30 to 40 home runs every year, and then he got popped for steroids. And you go from hitting 40 home runs to 30 home runs, which is all well and dandy. This dude might not even get the 10 home runs this year. Like you're getting paid $40 million a year to be like not only the face of that franchise, but to be like their 40 homer, 100 RBI guy. And it looks like you forgot how to hit a home run this year.
Oh, it looks like more than like that. It looks like it's been bad. And it's something I don't think any of us saw coming. He's another one that I had on my duds list. I think it may have been about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So Fernando Tatis for Dustin for National League most disappointing player. I went Geraldo Perdomo, and of course we both had Cal Riley. Now, where do we want to go next? Do we want to go? So now we're on the most disappointing teams.
So for me, I'll go AL most disappointing team.
Okay.
And I got to say to the Detroit Tigers.
You see, I wanted to, but they've been playing so well leading up to the All-Star break. That's why I didn't go there.
the main reason why I did it was because you added Framber Valdez after you refused to pay Tarek Skubal, which that's a topic for a different day. But you have Tarek Skubal and Framber Valdez as your top two. You have Cody Mize in there. You have Jack Flaherty in there. That's one of the best top four rotations in Major League Baseball, and a top four that theoretically should win you 90 to 95 games with ease. And when you look at how bad the AL Central is, they should be running away with the AL Central right now. But then Skubal goes down, which it's going to happen. It is what it is. But Jack Flaherty is the biggest reason why that team is in the position they are in, because Jack Flaherty has looked atrocious this year.
That is completely fair. He has not been good. All right, so you're sticking with the Tigers as your most disappointing team in the AL. I'm staying in, going out to the AL East. I'm going with the Baltimore Orioles. Now, yes, the AL East, it's competitive. But let's be real. When we started the season, did I expect the Rays to be this good? No way did I expect this. I expected the Yankees to still be very good, and I expected the Red Sox to have a better year than they've had. Now, again, the Red Sox, another team I could have used, but again, like the Tigers, they have been playing better leading up to the All-Star break. The Orioles went out and I thought put together a pretty damn well offensive-minded team. You know, you get Pete Alonso, you bring in Taylor Ward, you still have Adley Rutschman, you have all these bats, and it just hasn't come together. I knew the pitching would be a little bit of a concern, but I thought the lineup, the offense, would be able to kind of mask some of it. Man, they have not been very good offensively this year.
Not at all.
And I mean, Gunnar Henderson's he's had a slow start to the year. I had him as my AL MVP favorite in one of our prediction shows. Wow, how smart do I look? But yeah, so I went with the Orioles. I thought they were primed to have a bigger year, but yeah, the bats have not been there most of the year. Taylor Ward has not had a good year. Pete's been okay, but yeah,
Like you're getting what you expect out of Pete. Like he's on pace for a 40 homer, 120 RBI season. Like that's literally what they paid Pete Alonso to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to drop down into our disappointing for the National League. Okay. So, brought them up a few minutes ago. I went with the Cincinnati Reds. I was very high on this team going into the season.
I'll let you take that one because I have the same thing for you.
Okay. No, I think we both had the Reds as having a very solid offseason. I thought they had decent starting pitching. Then, of course, Hunter Green goes down before the season even starts, so that kind of started them off on the wrong foot. Eugenio Suarez has not played up to what we thought he would do for the Reds, even though he's only on that 1-year deal. But yeah, it hasn't been good. Bullpen's been kind of shaky. Rotation's been banged up. Offense has been kind of really inconsistent. And again, I think a lot of us had this team possibly winning in that Central because, again, we thought the Brewers would finally, that Brewer magic would run out, but it clearly hasn't. And, you would have told me that we were at the All-Star break and the Reds were under 500 and the Cardinals were above 500. I would have told you, what dream are you living? But, yeah, I'm going with the Reds. Not a good first half for the Cincinnati Reds.
And I got a question kind of what you just said on that too. Suarez is on that 1-year deal. He really has not performed the way the Reds thought he would. If you're Cincinnati, you can consider trading him at the deadline.
I would. I have no issue consider trading him because, again, you're not. I mean, right now you're not in prime for a postseason position. Yes, I know we still have a whole second half to play, but why not? I mean, the question you got to ask yourself: are you going to re-sign him at the end of the year? Probably not. And yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them to consider it because baseball is almost turning into basketball. Like, if you go look at NBA free agency over the past few weeks, right, guys are strictly getting paid because they shoot the ball well from three. Well, guess what? Like basketball, baseball will pay for power.
Yep, they will, and
So
they will overpay for power, especially a playoff team.
yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance that he could get dealt. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think there's a good chance that they would move him because, I mean, hey, you're going to be into a lockout next year anyway. Might as well trade him and get something back for him. And when you come back to baseball, you see what happens. All right, hold on a second now. Ellie De La Cruz is not the entire team. Don't disrespect Sal Stewart like that. All right. So now we are moving up to
Ellie De La Cruz is actually.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, that actually is fair. Ellie's 274, 15 homers, 44 RBIs. OPS is 839, 14 stolen bases. I mean, he's been solid, but not to what I think we should expect. All right, now let's move up to our breakout players and teams. Dustin, where do we want to start here?
So I'm actually going to start with the National League for this one. And since it's kind of fresh, right out of the oven, my breakout player in the National League has got to be Jordan Walker. Mainly because he just won the Home Run Derby. Now, I don't know if you just saw that, but his Home Run Derby prize pool is more than what his actual salary is for the year.
That's bizarre.
He's making $638,000 with the Cardinals. The Home Run Derby prize pool was $1 million. So yeah, he got that tonight. But like Jordan Walker's always been this team's top prospect for like the last 5 years, I think, maybe even 4 years. And he's finally showing why he was a top prospect. He's got what, almost 70 RBIs, 20 plus homers. He's finally giving them that production they've had since Albert Pujols.
I don't disagree. That's a very good pick. I actually have, again, I'm staying in the NL Central, and I almost went Jordan Walker, but I had to go with Chase Burns. If this was a fair Cy Young race, Chase Burns may be my favorite for the Cy Young. Unfortunately, he has about 4 to 5 other guys that are just as good. But I mean, 11-1, 2.54 ERA, 102 innings, 118 strikeouts, a whip just a little bit over 1 at 1.11. And this guy just throws straight out. He's just like the rest of them. He throws gas, and he's been awesome this year for the Reds. So I went Chase Burns as my breakout player in the National League. And now for the American League. You want me to kick this one off?
Yeah, you can kick this one off.
All right, so my American League breakout player, I'm going back to the AL East, and I'm going with Ben Rice.
Hey, funny enough, I actually have Ben Rice too.
I mean, dude, 279, 29 homers, 68 runs batted in, an OPS of 971. When we went into the season, no one had any idea who would be that third bat for the Yankees. You know what Aaron Judge gives you when he's healthy. And we all kind of expected Cody Bellinger to be that guy and to be their second best hitter. They needed somebody to produce outside of those two, and Ben Rice has been absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he has. And right now with Aaron Judge being out, Ben Rice is their guy. And even when Aaron Judge comes back, I think it's going to take him a little while to become that guy again. So don't be surprised if Ben Rice is the focal point of that offense for quite a while yet.
Yeah, no, because I mean, you know, when you have a rib fracture, one bad swing and you can re-aggravate that entire thing. So yeah, definitely. But and he's been a big reason why since Judge went down, they've been able to maintain their standings in the AL East. I mean, I know they're still behind Tampa, but again, without having Judge and some of your veteran arms like Rodon and Fried, they have found a way to continue to stay afloat, and hopefully, when they start getting these guys back healthy, they could try to make a run at that division with Tampa Bay because Tampa's been hitting on all cylinders as of late. All right, now let's move on to our breakout teams. Wait, do we do our breakout teams already?
Breakout teams we did not do in the American League or the National League yet.
No. That's we did not. We just talked about the half their managers probably.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll kick off this one, and I'll kick off with the national. I'll kick off with the National League, and we talked about them a little bit earlier. I went with the Miami Marlins. They have been absolutely amazing in this first half. They're right in the National League East race with the Braves and Phillies. They are currently 4 games out, and they are sitting in third place. Of course, they're 52-45. I don't think anybody, after they fired Skip Schumacher, I don't think anybody really saw this coming from the Marlins. But like I said earlier, they've been getting awesome starting pitching from Sandy Alcantara. Sandy's been good. Yuri Perez has been okay, but Max Meyer's been the breakout candidate on that pitching staff.
Didn't you see their win projection
And
when the season came up?
no, I did not. What was it?
61 and 101. And they're at 52 wins right now.
So there's that. When you are projected to win 61 games and you've already got 52, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
And they got some bats. They got a couple solid bats. I mean, Liam Hicks, 290, 13 homers, 58 ribbies, 822 OPS. Another guy who's very disciplined at the plate, 32 walks to only 30 strikeouts at the plate. That's damn impressive. Xavier Edwards this year sitting 300 with an 810 OPS. Another guy. Exactly, but listen to this one. Xavier Edwards as well. 48 strikeouts, 46 walks. Otto Lopez, now 334, 873 OPS. I mean, they actually have there's some talent going down in Miami, and this is all with Kyle Stowers kind of having a slow start to the year. Granted, he missed the first few weeks with an injury, but he still even has 12 home runs, 42 RBIs, and his OPS is at 777. So
let's see how long they hang on to that talent. That's the real question.
Yes, because we've definitely seen the Miami Marlins of years past when they will look to they will do what they do.
Yep.
So yeah, I have the Marlins as my breakout team in the National League.
My breakout team, and this is just a stinking dagger to the heart because I can't stand it, but it's the freaking Brewers again because, whatever they touch turns to gold in Milwaukee. Like, it's just ridiculous at this point what that team has been able to do when you look at the roster they have and when you look at the pitching staff they have and when you look at the free agent moves they make and the trades they make. It doesn't matter because every time they make a trade, they win the trade, and then this is the position they're in every freaking year.
Yep. I mean, like I said, take your pick, and we'll tell you which rejected old ball player from another team will go there and just turn to the next stud like Kyle Harrison this year. But yeah,
I really hate it.
I'm done. I'm never gonna bet against the Brewers again because every time we do, we think they're done, but no, they're not really. All right, and Dustin, who do you have for the American League breakout team this year?
I'm honestly going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you were saying about Kevin Cash when you were talking about the manager of the year. Like, the Tampa Bay Rays, for as long as they've had Kevin Cash, you're going to have a competitive team that's always going to be fighting for a wild card spot. And every now and then they'll get like 1 year where they get hot, they win the division, and possibly get to the ALCS. But I don't think anyone thought the Rays were going to be as good as what they are this year. Yes, having McClanahan back helps, and having Rasmussen pitch the way he does helps. But you have Junior Caminero in your lineup. And who else without looking at that roster?
I mean, you have Aranda, the kid at first base, but outside of that.
Yandy Diaz. That's about
I
it.
forget about Yandy is such an underappreciated ball player. But yeah, I mean, like you said, elite starting pitching takes you a long way in this league, and they got a plethora of it. Their bullpen is always good. When they're in this mode, they always have a good bullpen, no matter who's in it. And when it comes to the offense, they just find ways to do it. And I'm actually going to go back to your manager of the year talk with Will Venable. I went with the White Sox for my breakout team because, again, a team that's consistently lost 100 games a year for it feels like forever. Didn't really know, even after bringing in Murakami and doing what they did in the offseason, no one really knew what to expect from them, and they've been pretty freaking good. I mean, to be, like I said, yeah, they're only a few games over 500, but they're tied with the Guardians for the AL Central. That's pretty damn impressive.
Power walls out.
So, yeah, I had to go with the White Sox for my American League breakout team.
And I'm not even mad at that. The only reason why I'm just kind of hesitant on that is just because, yes, the White Sox are in first place right now, but do they feel, how do I word this without sounding bad? Do they feel like they are a playoff team yet? Or are they kind of in a position right now where they still might sell off some pieces at the deadline to further improve themselves for next year? That's just, I mean, you're 4 games over, you're in first place. I understand that. But do they really feel like they are a team that's good enough to win that division right now, or are they just kind of capitalizing on the Tigers having the year they're having and the Guardians kind of playing a little bit worse than what people expected?
That's a good question, and honestly, I think they could win that division now.
No, I 100% agree with you, but they're going to be, to me, when you look at the deadline and the moves that a lot of these teams want to make sure that the White Sox have, like Davis Martin and Sean Burke. The White Sox, to me, are going to be the toughest team to figure out at the deadline. Because 9 out of 10 times, if you're a first place club, you're going to buy at the deadline. But the White Sox have done such a good job of restocking that farm system. At what point do you just not want to buy, or at what point do you not want to buy players and get rid of those prospects again? And then at the same time, you have some aging players like Andrew Benintendi and some of those other contracts that you might want to sell off just because it opens up more spending for you next year. But at what point does that disrupt the chemistry? So do the White Sox become buyers, sellers, or are they just going to be one of those teams that just stands pat and just basically says, we are what we are this year, and we're just going to ride this wave as long as we can?
Honestly, I think just riding the wave, and like if there is a decent offer for one of their veteran players, like a Benintendi or something, maybe you take it. But I think they're better off standing pat because I'm the firm believer in sports of two things. You're either a championship contender or you're just you're in the middle. So if you don't believe you're that deep of a contender, it's better to just stand pat and continue to build off of what you've done this year with what you have.
Right.
Fighting Philly said the Twins could even still win this division. The AL Central is atrocious. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that because even the Twins are only like 1 game under 500.
Yeah, I mean, the only team that's really, I think, mathematically, I mean, they're not mathematically eliminated, but the only team that really, I don't think, has a chance.
I mean, hey, you want to talk about a disappointing team? Can we go to the Kansas City Royals?
The only reason why I'm giving them a pass is just because of Cole Reagan's getting hurt. And just a lot of their quality starting pitchers actually going down. That's the only reason why I'm getting a pass, because Cole Reagan's was such a huge part of the reason why they were kind of hovering around 500 last year. And now he goes down, and you lost your ace, and you basically have nothing to replace your ace with.
Yeah, I mean, Seth Lugo's been hit around a lot this year. Michael Wacha's actually been solid for them, but outside of that, It's been a very rough year in Kansas City. When I think a lot of us expected them to be a lot better.
I mean, I didn't expect them to be a playoff team. I thought they were going to be closer to 500, but I think they peaked a little. I'm not going to say peaked, but I think they achieved more than they expected last year. Like if they would have been what they were this year, last year, I would not have been surprised if they would have been above 500 this year.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. All right, now let's get into our big awards for this year: AL and NL Cy Young and MVP. Dustin, where we want to kick this off?
I'm going to go AL Cy Young because I think I might have a surprise. But
Okay,
we'll see your thought process.
let's see.
My AL Cy Young is Sonny Gray.
Okay, we're different. Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, you look at the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been terrible this year. But Garrett Crochet goes down. You lost your ace, so somebody needed to step up. Boy, has Sonny Gray stepped up. He's like what, 10-1, 10-2 with an ERA in the 2.2s.
Yep.
Not bad for a 36-year-old who's on the final year of his deal, who's probably going to be the hottest pitching commodity at the deadline outside of Skubal. And realistically, he probably will be the hottest commodity at the deadline because he's going to be the easiest to afford when it comes to putting a package together.
And well, not to mention the longevity and durability that Sonny Gray's had throughout most of his career too.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's
this
just
is this is
nothing.
the best that he's looked since that 1 year with the Cardinals where he was like 17-5 with like a 2.70 ERA.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of Sonny Gray's best seasons. Like I said, when you're a team that's in need of starting pitching, a guy like that could really boost your rotation for the stretch run. So now, I almost went Sonny Gray as well, but I stayed in the American League East and I went with Cam Schlittler. If you look at this, Garrett Cole starts the year on the IL recovering from Tommy John. Still hasn't looked like Garrett Cole yet. Rodon, constant IL stints with an elbow issue. He's back on it again. Max Fried has missed a decent amount of the first half with an elbow injury. The Yankees, as deep as we talked about their rotation heading into the season, it was needing somebody to step to. Luis Gil, shoulder issues. Clark Schmidt, elbow issues, out for probably the rest of the season. I don't think he was expected to pitch it all this year anyway. They needed somebody to step up and be the top guy in that rotation. And Cam Schlittler, 9-5, a 2.05 ERA, leads the American League, a 0.94 WHIP, 102, 18 and 2/3 innings, 137 strikeouts. The guy has been unbelievable all season. So yeah, you go either way too. It doesn't hurt. Sonny Gray, you want to give it to him? I'm okay with that. Cam Schlittler, I'm okay with that. But for a team with the Yankees, you want to talk about another guy that's been a big reason why the Yankees have stayed in contention in the AL East with all those guys hurt. Ben Rice on the offensive side, Cam Schlittler on the pitching side. They have been awesome this year, and the Yankees have some really nice young players for their future currently. Like, it's not like we're waiting for these guys. They're here and they're establishing themselves.
Yes, they are.
So, yeah, I had to go Cam Schlittler because, again, first of all, he also leads the American League in ERA. Like I said, Sonny Gray's number 2 right behind him. I think an honorable mention, if I could throw one out there, maybe Dylan Cease. I mean, he's 3rd in the American League in ERA. He leads the American League in strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
He could definitely be an honorable mention for me in the Cy Young thing. And also, by the way, when we were talking about most disappointing teams, I know we could have easily went with the 2 teams that matched up in the ALCS last year. However, I don't really hold the Blue Jays like that because of losing Bo Bichette.
Yeah. And losing Jose Barrios too.
Exactly. And I could have said the Mariners, but you know what? They're still fighting for the AL West. And also, we kind of know why they're struggling. They let Suarez leave. Cal Raleigh isn't having the year he had last year, so I didn't really want to and add insult to injury to them. So I mean, they're still decent. Their rotation's still keeping them alive in that division. So,
Right.
gee, Dustin, now it's time for the National League Cy Young. I wonder who our picks are.
You want to just get your homer pick out of the way?
I don't have a homer pick.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Sanchez.
No, I'm going with Mizorowski.
I don't think there's any argument.
Well, okay, there was until
Until
after.
Sanchez got lit up.
Yeah, Sanchez over the past about 5 starts, he's had like two. Like he had the game in Kansas City where he allowed 6 runs in the first inning, and then he had to get a start like 2 starts before that in Washington where he allowed like 4 runs in the first inning. So after that innings limit streak that he had scoreless going, it's been kind of a little rocky. Now he's still been fine. I mean, he just pitched really well in Detroit on Saturday. He went 7 innings, allowed 2 runs, pitched really well. But it's been a little bump. It's a couple bumps in the road for Sanchez, and we know how much I love Christopher Sanchez, but yeah, how do you not go with Mizorowski? The guy's throwing the ball at 106 miles an hour, and he's got like 160 strikeouts already.
And I think the guy's given up like 3 home runs all year, and 2 of them came in 1 start.
Yeah, and wasn't that just like his last start?
No, like he gave up 2 home runs his first start of the year. And then he gave up his first home run since then in his last start.
Yeah, and I mean, listen to this: 10-4, 1.62 ERA, a 0.76 WHIP, 111 innings, and 167 strikeouts. Is it possible? Now, he has 167, so he would need another 133. Is it possible he strikes out 300 this year?
Oh, he will.
I mean, he needs 133 to do it.
Oh, he will. And if you look at, I'm going to pull it up really quick. And this is what pains me to say that the Brewers are kind of the breakout team, because if I remember looking at this the other day, I think they said the Brewers have the easiest schedule the rest of the way in the National League. So they could be playing themselves into home field advantage, which they get home field advantage in the playoffs with the way Mizorowski's pitching. That's going to be a problem. But coming out of the break, these are the first 5 series for the Brewers coming out of the break, and Mizorowski's going to get at least, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he might get 4 of these series. Coming out of the break, the Brewers got the Marlins, the Mets, the Rockies, the Giants, and the Angels.
He may strike out 10 in every one of those starts.
Which is already 40. Then right after that, they get the Pirates and the Twins. Mizorowski's going to get at least one of those. Then they have their tough batch where they get the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Braves. But then right after that, they get the Mets again, the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Cubs. Then the Reds, then the Cubs, then the Reds, then the Orioles.
Oh, this is definitely doable.
And then they get the Phillies and Cardinals to end the year.
Very doable.
Like I said, if he makes 10 starts the rest of the way, he'll make more than that. He'll make 12 to 13 starts. He's going to average over 10 strikeouts per game.
So it's doable.
It's extremely doable.
I don't disagree. Fighting Philly says he thinks Wheeler has a better shot at the Cy Young right now than Sanchez. And honestly,
he's got a better chance to win it than Sanchez does. But for Wheeler to, I think, overtake Mizorowski needs a 3-start stretch where he just looks human. And I'm not saying he has to get lit up like Sanchez got lit up.
That's not his definition of looking bad.
Like, he needs to have a 3-star stretch where he gives up like 3 runs, 4 runs. Like, he needs to have like some sort of a stretch where he looks human. Otherwise, I don't think it matters how well Wheeler pitches.
And first of all, that's not disrespecting Zach Wheeler, because I've never seen a 36-year-old have the surgery that he had last year to come back from that and look better. Like, Zach Wheeler has been ridiculous in this first half. First off, another one of the impressive things he's done, he is 3-0 this year against Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal. He's outpitched Skeens and Skubal this year and beat them. Like, he has been phenomenal since coming back. But I mean, from what this comment says, I get it. We're just talking about Wheeler and Sanchez. And yeah, like I said, Sanchez's last month has been kind of rocky. He's had some good starts still, but then he's had some starts where the first inning was really ugly. Now he calmed down after the first, but I
Yeah.
think it kind of hurt his chances a lot. Early season, he was in that race, but
Yeah, and
now,
I will say, if there was somebody that I think could take Mezarowski down, I think Shohei might do it just because of his ERA.
I could agree. I don't
Because
disagree with that at all.
the fact that his ERA is just barely over 1, and the only reason why it's over 1 is because he gave up 4 runs in one of his starts, and because he's made less starts than everybody else. Otherwise, the guy had an ERA under 1 all year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I mean, Chris Sale's still going to be in the conversation too. He's had another really good year, even though he's 9-6.
Like we talked about it with the American League. The American League, in my opinion, is too deep for the Cy Young, maybe 3 deep. The National League right now is 8 guys deep
Yeah,
for
like
who
take
could
your
win
pick.
that Cy Young.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're talking Mizorowski, Kyle Harrison, his teammate, Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Chris Sale, Shohei Ohtani, Chase Burns.
Yeah.
Like,
And the funny thing is, people don't realize this, but look at Ben Brown with the Cubs even before he got hurt. Ben Brown with the Cubs might not have the record that some of these guys had because he started the year as a reliever. But when he got hurt, he had a 1.69 ERA. And that includes a 1.42 ERA after moving to the starting rotation.
yeah. Yeah, the NL Cy Young race this year is historic.
This reminds me of the late 90s, early 2000s when you had Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, and every team in the American League had a Hall of Fame caliber pitcher at the top of the rotation.
Yeah. I always I like offense, but I always like a good starting pitcher. I always love I'm the one that would love to go to games to see pitcher duels. I don't care about 10-9 games. I like to see the pitching duels.
All right.
All right. And now that leaves the Mecca. The big old most valuable player award. Where shall we kick this off?
If you don't have Jordan Alvarez in the American League, I'm going to be shocked.
I do. We literally talked
So
about this on
yeah,
our.
so we both got them. So I'll let you take that one.
I mean, yes. I mean, let's look at Jordan Alvarez this year. I mean, he's second in the American League in hitting at 318. He's only 4 points behind Yandy Diaz. He's tied for first with Yandy. Yandy Diaz can get some votes in this too, and I wouldn't be upset about it.
No.
But tied with Yandy for 111 hits in the American League, leads the AL in home runs with 31, leads the AL in RBIs with 70. He's second behind Zach Neto with 65 runs scored. Zach Neto has 67. I mean, the guy is literally at the top of almost every major offensive category in the American League. How do you not give that the MVP?
Yep.
The only other person, honestly, I could think is Yandy Diaz.
Yep.
So,
and honestly, I will throw Ben Rice in the mix now because Ben Rice is carrying the Yankees right now.
Strictly because he's been doing it without Aaron Judge in that lineup, 100% agree.
Yep. I would put him number 2 in the AL MVP voting right now, Yandy Diaz 3. Just because Ben Rice is doing this without Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate anything about that. I would not hate that whatsoever. So yeah, Jordan's the easy one. Now, Dustin, let's go over to the National League, and I'm going to let you kick this one off.
No, you're starting because I'm going to shock you with mine.
Are you really going to shock me with yours?
Yes.
So, all right. So, this is going to be my second homer pick of the show. I did go with Kyle Schwarber.
Fine with it because I thought he should have won it last year.
And the
Fine with it.
reason here, let me explain my thought process when I hear the terms MVP. When I think of a player who is the most valuable player, this is the LeBron James, his first stint, the first 7 years of his career in Cleveland. When he left Cleveland, you saw what a joke of a team that was. Last year, let's go back to the NBA. Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum tears his Achilles, out for most of the year. Jaylen Brown leads them to the 2 seed, wins over 50 games, has a career year. If he's not on that team last year, and well, here, wait, let me say this. If Derek White was leading that team, they're a lottery team. I have no idea where the Phillies would be without the power of Kyle Schwarber. Now, look, I understand about Shohei Ohtani. I get it. The two-way aspect. He is something we'll never see in the sport of baseball again, and I get it. But if I take Shohei Ohtani off of the Dodgers, they're still a good baseball team. They still have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, even though he has been bad this year, Kyle Tucker. They still have a plethora of talented players. And if you even take them out of the rotation, still have Yamamoto, Glassnack, Snell. They still have a good team. If you take Kyle Schwarber and his power off of the Phillies, they are probably, if anything, hanging around fourth place with the Nationals because they don't have the offensive production outside of him, Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, the guy's got 30 homers at the freaking All-Star break. He's probably so wait, we asked this about Mizorowski, right? Will he hit 300 Ks? Does Schwarber reach 60?
I think he does.
I think it's a good possibility he does because he has just been, again, he has been this peak of power numbers that we have seen since he has come here is stuff you don't see outside of somebody named Bonds at this point.
Exactly.
Like, it's been ridiculous how good of a player he has been. So I went with Kyle Schwarber because if he's not on the Phillies, they're probably in fourth place right now.
Exactly.
But all right, Dustin, who you got?
After the month that Pete Crow Armstrong just had, he's firmly now in the MVP conversation. And I almost went with him just because the Cubs started the year 7-9. Then they went 20-3. Then they went 7-22. And now they're 22-8 again. And PCA is a big reason why, because once PCA got moved to the leadoff spot and he started hitting, the team started to follow. So I almost gave him the MVP. I'm going to Mezorowski. I legitimately think that Jacob Mezorowski could pull a Justin Verlander this year and win the MVP and the Cy Young. If he gets to 300 strikeouts and has an ERA under or slightly above 2, he's winning both.
I'm sorry. I think I got to take a brief pause. Did you just put Jacob Mizorowski into this conversation now?
I did. Because who was the last pitcher to win the MVP and the Cy Young on the same year?
Well, you said a Verlander.
And what did his numbers look like that year? Do you remember?
Wasn't that year he was like 24-5?
He was 24-5 with a 2.42 ERA, and he had like 278 strikeouts. If Mezorowski gets to 300 strikeouts and that ERA stays around 2.2 or less, he's going to get the MVP. Because he's putting up video game-like numbers as a starting pitcher from the velocity to what he can do on the mound that we have never seen before.
Okay. Wow, you just threw me completely for a curveball with that. You just threw my mind in a fryer with that.
I told you I was going to shock you with who I was picking.
Oh my god. Hold on real quick. Fighting Philly said Kyle is on that 2006-2011 Ryan Howard run. He's probably been better, and I hate to say
Yeah.
that because with Ryan Howard, all right, 2006 was the peak, the 58 homers, and then it was in the mid 40s for like 2 more years, but it went from like 58 to 45 to 45 to 35 to 33, and then that's when his Achilles went, and that's when that whole ended. Schwarber is literally at like 38 plus every year, except last year he hit 50.
Right.
Fighting Philly also said if he wins both, the Brewers may trade him. His value will never be higher.
If he wins both, he's going to be. If he wins both, he will be the first player the Brewers ever spend $300 million on. Because they will not be afford. They would not be able to let him go. They could not afford to.
No, I mean at a point, and we've talked about this. You know, the Brewers they move off of guys because they have the replacement, right? Mizorowski was basically the replacement to Freddie Peralta. We knew this, but
Yes.
eventually you find that player where you say, "Look, we can't all be the Angels with Shohei Ohtani." There is a time where there is a player where you say, "This guy cannot leave our building."
And the reason why I could see the Brewers giving him like a 10-year, $300 million extension is simple. He's 24, going on 25. What happens if you get 6 years out of him as a starter? You can throw a guy throwing 105 miles an hour as your closer. If you can get 6 years out of him as a starter and pretty much get what you can with this velocity at basically the peak of what he's going to be as a starter, and then the back half of that contract, if he's still throwing 103 and put him as your closer, he's going to get you over 100 to 150 wins as a starter, and then he's probably going to get you 200 saves on the back end.
I don't hate the idea of that either.
Like it's going to be like a Aroldis Chapman and John Smoltz. Like John Smoltz was obviously a very good starting pitcher, but then he just kind of had the injuries that forced him to go to the bullpen, and then he became a very good closer. Aroldis
Yeah,
Chapman was like Jacob Mezorowski. The only difference was Aroldis Chapman couldn't command his fastball. So they moved him to the bullpen where they basically said, we just need you to throw 104 miles an hour for 3 outs and then be done with it. But that's the thing that I can see Mezorowski doing. He's going to be a starter for 6 to 7 years. He's going to be one of the more dominant starting pitchers we've ever seen. And then it's going to get to a point where he is going to have an injury, whether it's Tommy John, whether it's shoulder, whether it's something where he's going to come back from the injury. And the Brewers are going to be like, you know what? Just go to the ninth inning and gas everybody.
yeah, pretty much.
Try to touch 110.
To 110. If I ever see him throw 110, that's it, folks.
He threw 107.4 yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
If you put him in the ninth inning as a closer, he will touch 110 because he knows that all he has to do is give you basically as hard as he could throw for 15 to 20 pitches.
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything. It's just you threw me through such a loop by saying Mizorowski. I
Who do you think I was going to
swore.
say?
Come on, you know who I thought you were going to go Shohei.
And like if he was having his typical offensive year, I would. But his down year offensively is going to hurt him in the MVP voting a little bit this year.
His down year, some guys' his career year.
No, I understand it, but what we've been accustomed to seeing Shohei do.
That is
Like
true.
he's going to struggle to get to 40 home runs this year. He's going to
Yeah,
struggle to get to 100 RBIs, and his batting average might not even be in the 270s. Like that's a good year for almost every other hitter, but that is what you call a down year for Shohei.
fair enough. All right, Dustin, real quickly, let's go through our two teams. You know, Cubs, they're 12 games over 500. They're still in the thick of things in the Central. My Phillies are right in the NL East still. Why don't we take just a few quick minutes and we'll give some mid-season reports on our two teams, and I'll let you kick things off with your Cubs.
The Cubs have been a roller coaster that I don't want to be a part of anymore. I mean, like I said, they started the year 7-9. Then they had two 10-game winning streaks in a 23-game stretch to go 20-3. They
You're welcome
followed
for
that.
half of those.
They followed that up with an MLB worst 7-22 record in the month of May into April. And now they followed that up again with a major league best 20-8 record the last 28 games. Like you said, they're 12 games above 500 because they're 20-8 in their last 28 games. That's how you got 12 games above 500. Their offense has sucked for 40 games, but then it's been one of the best offenses in baseball for 40 games because Dansby Swanson decided he wanted to get 26 RBIs in 8 days.
It was
Fun
such a
times,
crazy week.
fun times there for him, right? He earned his paycheck this year. And then you have the starting rotation. We'll go a little bit further than the starting rotation. The Cubs have 26 pitchers on the injured list right now. And that's starting pitching, that's bullpen, that's minor leaguers that were expected to come up and help this team right now. They have 26 impact pitchers on the IL right now, and yet they are 12 games above 500. Like I said, it's a roller coaster that I don't want to be a part of anymore. But
That is
I
impressive.
but I am going to give them a B plus just because the amount of injuries this team has taken on in the starting rotation. No Jamison Tyone for the last month and a half. Edward Cabrera is going to be out until probably mid-August. Matthew Boyd was out for 2 months for 2 separate injuries. Ben Brown might be done for the year with a neck injury. Justin Steele and Cade Horton are both done for the year with elbow injuries. The only starter that they've had that has yet to get hurt this year is Shota Imanaga. And he has not been the Shota Imanaga that he was the first 2 months of the season. And yet the team is still 12 games above 500 and leads the wild card. So it's kind of hard not to give him a B plus.
That's a fair grade. Now, real quickly, give me your here. Let's give some team awards out here. We'll go team MVP.
PCA, there's no question.
Okay. Give me a breakout player, a disappointing player, and I guess a best pitcher. And for you, God only knows who that could be.
The disappointing player all year was Dansby Swanson until he had that big week. Because
Okay.
now he leads the team in RBIs, so I can't really say he's a disappointing player because he leads the team in RBIs. Ian Happ has had a terrible season when you look at his batting average, but with 18 home runs already, he's 5 away from a career high. Can't really say he's been a disappointing player either, I guess. I'd say my biggest disappointment as a player right now is Michael Busch. Just because Michael Busch had 38 home runs or 34 home runs last year. He drove in, I think, 92, hit a 260, and then he went on to hit 5 more home runs in the playoffs. He's hitting a 234 right now with 10 home runs and 41 RBIs. The power has completely gone away from Michael Busch. And if I didn't say Michael Busch, I think Alex Bregman would have been a close second. But at least Bregman is showing some signs of life offensively the last couple days.
Okay.
Breakout player. No, I could even say Nico Horner as a disappointment too, because Nico Horner sucked this year too. But breakout player, I mean, there's really not many options I can go with. I mean, I'm gonna just have to say PCA just because you look at how his second half of the year went last year when he went from being one of the best hitters in the National League to one of the worst hitters in the National League. There were a lot of question marks as to what type of player he was going to become. And over the first month and a half of the season, he was kind of one of the worst hitters in baseball again. But now the last month and a half, he's been the best hitter in the National League the last month and a half.
Okay. Fighting Philly wants to know: would you still take Bregman over Tucker?
Yes, I would. Kyle Tucker is the biggest joke of a contract in Major League Baseball history, and I'm putting him ahead of Juan Soto.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think Soto's still worth his contract.
Kyle Tucker stole. Well, I can't say stole the money because the Dodgers print their own money on site, so it doesn't matter. But Kyle Tucker has proven to be. I'm not going to say a one-hit wonder because he had a good 3 or 4 year run with Houston. But Kyle Tucker is a living proof that some ballparks fit players better. And Houston fit Kyle Tucker perfectly.
Well, yeah, the right field wall is like 5 feet high.
And it's 322 feet away.
you hit a freaking pop up. If they didn't play indoors, a slight pop up with a breeze would leave that ballpark in
Yeah.
right field.
So like Kyle Tucker's been exposed since he's left Houston, and exposed in a bad way.
Yeah, and I mean, also let's not remember he had those loaded lineups. I mean, you had Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Tucker, Springer, like Correa, like they were loaded from top to bottom.
Yep. What were the last two awards I had to give out? Or the last
So
ones?
so wait, your team MVP was PCA,
Yep. Breakout was PCA.
your breakout was PCA. So
Disappointment was Bush.
and your disappointment was Bush, and I said best pitcher. If you
Ben Brown.
have
Ben Brown.
okay,
Ben Brown came into the season as a bullpen pitcher. Once all the Cubs starters started to get hurt, they needed to have guys that could eat innings. They threw Ben Brown in there, and over 11 starts, he posted a 1.42 ERA.
damn.
And now he's done for the year because he's got a tumor in his neck right now.
Oh Jesus. Oh, that's ooh.
Second time in 3 years that it's happened. Same exact spot.
Oh, that's brutal. Oh, I guess it's my turn, right?
Yeah, it is.
Well, like we talked earlier, it's been a very interesting season for my Phillies. 9-19 start, terrible. Weren't freaking. Our pitching was awful. We weren't hitting. We still struggle with runners in scoring position, and our fielding was worse than it usually is. I mean, we're not the greatest fielding team, but we're also not like the worst. But all those things, of course, resulted in Topper getting fired and Mattingly takes over, and the team has been playing some excellent baseball ever since. Kyle Schwarber is destroying the ball this year. Bryce Harper is looking like the Bryce Harper that I'm used to seeing again. Looks like that wrist injury that he's had over the past couple of years has started to not bother him as much as it did last year. Last year was, I don't know what Bryce Harper I saw last year, but that was not the guy I'm used to seeing.
Right.
Still issues. Bullpen is still a major issue. It's very inconsistent at times. Starting rotation outside of the top three in the back end. I mean, Andrew Painter, who was supposed to be to show them that he was ready for the big leagues, and he clearly wasn't. Aaron Nola has been, once again, just atrocious. And I mean, like, really atrocious. And, I mean, he had a decent start in Detroit, but, I mean, it still just has not been – the back end of that rotation has not been good. The lineup has been very spotty outside of three guys. Everyone else is kind of just, like, lying in the weeds and just – they'll have a big game. Like, Stott will have a big game here, or JT will have a big hit here. I mean, Justin Crawford will have a decent – Justin Crawford's actually had a really good month of July. He had a little bit of a struggle there between, like, late May through June, but July so far, it's picked up for him. But the bullpen's ERA this month is over, like, 9, which is awful. But that's what you get when you only have one consistent relief pitcher. But overall, I'll give the Phillies so far, I'll give them a B. I mean, to start where they did at 9-19 and to battle their way back to getting within only 2 games of the Braves at the All-Star break with the hot start that the Braves got off to. I'll give them a B. And if I had to throw out my stuff, most disappointing player is easy. It's got to be Trey Turner. I mean, there's the guy that was the National League batting champion last year, and now he's barely, I don't even think he's hitting over 240. So he's my most disappointing player. My breakout player is Brandon Marsh, hitting over 300, having a terrific season, finally putting it together at the plate. I think Don Mattingly giving him that vote of confidence early on when he was talked about with his players, and he said that Brandon Marsh could be a superstar. I think that vote of confidence really did something for him. Again, like I said, that's the ex-player in Mattingly coming out and translating and speaking to his players that I think it really gives them that vote of confidence. So my best pitcher, it should be Christopher Sanchez, but I can't take away what Zach Wheeler has done since coming back. from that surgery. I mean, to miss the first month and come in and just look as good as he has. Christopher Sanchez is right there with him, but I'm going to give my best pitcher to Zach Wheeler. And am I allowed to give? Can my team MVP be split up?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, well, here's the funny thing. I'm splitting it between 3 freaking players.
Yeah.
Number 1, Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
I've already made his case with the NL MVP, so I don't got to tell you what he's done. Bryce Harper, because if Schwarber's not doing what he's doing and Harper's not doing what he's doing, I don't know who's doing anything in this lineup. Alec Boehm has not been consistent this year. JT has not been very consistent. But again, I don't put a lot on JT. He's a 35-year-old catcher. He already has enough work he has to do behind the plate. And he has taken a beating behind the plate this year. I mean, he's had multiple foul balls hit off his foot. He's been hitting his forearm. He took one. He's taken several off his mask. I think he's taken a few off the little JTs, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't put a lot on JT as a hitter. He's 35 and he still catches every damn game, so I can't hate him for that. But so yeah, if Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber haven't had the years that they've had, I don't know where this team is. But my third team MVP, I'm going with Johan Duran, because the Phillies bullpen this year, Jose Alvarado has been awful. Brad Keller has been on the IL now for about a month. He is it looks like he's coming back probably soon. But with that forearm situation, he was struggling throughout the first half. Orion Kerkering some nights looks like he could be a premier setup man, and then there's some nights where it's like, how are you pitching beyond the 6th inning?
Right.
Like in Cincinnati, he walks the bases loaded in like 12 pitches. It's like, what are we doing?
Right.
Now, Jonathan Bolin, who they got in the trade for Matt Strahm, which I will give Dave Dombrowski credit, that deal looks good. Bolin has a 2.94 ERA, and the Phillies have him under team control for 6 more years. He throws 99 effortlessly. And Matt Strahm has a 7.18 ERA for the Royals, so that trade's worked out for the Phils. But outside of Duran, the bullpen has been very inconsistent. Tanner Banks has not replicated his success from last year. Tim Meza hasn't been good. Jose Alvarado's been awful. But Duran, 1.38 ERA, 24 saves, and 25 opportunities. It's tied for the National League lead. It's 3rd overall in Major League Baseball. And the 24 saves he has is tied the Phillies record for the most in a first half, joining Steve Bedrosian, who are the other Jose Mesa, and I believe the other one was Jemar Gomez back in 2016. So, yeah, my 3 team MVPs I got to give it to is Schwarber, Harper, Johan Duran. Because if they don't have the years they have, I don't know where we'd be. But I'll give the Phillies a solid B. So
it's grid time.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, Fighting Philly. I brought up Genmar. I'm sorry. All right. So, Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong. We took down the grid last week.
Yes, we did.
All right. Well, good. Let's do it again. All right. Let's get this grid and let's take it down real fast. So, on our top hand column, we have White Sox, Astros, and All-Star fitting. And on the left side, we have Dustin, Detroit, Seattle, and played second base.
Okay.
So I think Houston and Detroit, we could just put Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
So let's get the obvious out of the way while we're here.
For Houston in second base, we can put Altuve.
Yes, we can. All right.
For All-Star in second base, I guess we could just pick whoever we want. I don't even care. Just name one.
Chase Utley.
Sure.
right.
Seattle in an All-Star. I went Ken Griffey there.
Okay. But we could also use Ken Griffey for the White Sox and the Mariners.
That we could. So let's do that. Let's put him with the White Sox and Mariners.
All right. All right. Let's go Ken Griffey Jr. And I mean,
First,
All-Star, you want to put Ichiro?
yeah, put Ichiro there.
Let's get our boy Ichiro on here. All right. The
For,
fact that hold on, real quickly.
yep,
The fact that Ichiro and Chase Utley only have a combined 13% guesses. What are we doing?
right. For
Disrespectful.
for Tigers and All-Star, I want Miguel Cabrera there.
That is more than fair.
Miggy.
Gotta go, Miggy. All right, so now we need a Mariner and an Astro, a White Sox and a Tiger, and a White Sox who played second base.
Mariner and Astro put Randy Johnson.
Did he pitch for the Astros?
Yes, he did. He was very good with the Astros, too, for 1 year.
Why do I not think he pitched for the Astros?
Late 90s. Before he got to Arizona.
Okay. You were okay. I'm gonna say I was second guessing that because I totally forgot about that. But all right, you nailed it.
He was on their 98 staff. He was like the ace. It was him, Shane Reynolds, and what's his Roy Oswalt.
Roy Oswalt. All right, so now we need a White Sox and a Tiger, and a White Sox and someone who played second base.
White Sox in second base. You can put Chase Mydroth, who's on their team right now.
Oh, that's easy.
Fine, you want to go further back now? We can go further back than that.
Let's put Chris Getz.
Chris Getz, that's fine. Nick Madrigal, any of those ones.
Let's go with Getzy there. That's a name. Yeah, let me switch. Yeah, 2008, 2014. Yeah, let's go Chris Getz at 1%. All right. So now we need a White Sox and a Tiger.
Was Andrew Benintendi a Tiger?
I don't believe so.
Because I know he was a Red Sox. I know he was a Royal.
I don't think he ever made a...
Wasn't he with Verlander and Scherzer?
No.
Are you sure?
I am very confident he was not.
For some reason, I want to say he was a Tiger. But I'm not confident enough to say that in the grid.
I don't believe... I am very confident that I don't think he did. So I think we're going to have to pivot toward something else.
Alex Avila.
There's a good one.
He wasn't on the White Sox long, but...
Alex Avila, that was 2009 to 2021 was his career.
That's it? I thought he played longer than that.
Is that our final guess?
Yeah, I'm going Avila.
We got it. 2%, but Alex Avila takes it home, and we have a 2-week winning streak with the grid.
Alex Avila.
Chris Getz. Why do we get the weird ones, but the obvious things is what we sometimes mess up with? Make it make sense.
Right?
Yeah, fighting Philly. I had no idea that Randy Johnson pitched in Houston either.
How did you guys not know that? How old were you people?
I was born in 96.
Okay, yeah, you would have been like 2. So you probably didn't even know what baseball was back then yet.
No, not really.
So Randy Johnson pitched for the Houston Astros in 1998. He was traded to the Houston Astros from Seattle that year. So he was only with Houston for like 3 months. You ready for what he did with Houston?
Shoot.
Strap in your seatbelts, boys and girls. In 11 starts with the Astros after they traded him, he went 10-1 with a 1.28 ERA, 4 shutouts, 4 complete games, 20 walks, and 116 strikeouts.
Yeah, that sounds about Randy Johnson to me.
Talk about a deadline homer.
It's like CC in '08 going to the Brewers, and then he was like undefeated the rest of the year.
I'm going to look up the package for him because I think the package was like such an easy package, too.
I think the best deadline, the best overall deadline I saw was '08 with CC going to the Brewers and Manny going to the Dodgers, and he had like 350. With
Okay,
like,
this was actually a pretty fair trade both ways.
what was it?
So the Houston Astros acquired Randy Johnson from the Seattle Mariners on the trade deadline, so July 31st. In exchange, the Houston Astros got Freddie Garcia, solid
Solid,
pitcher,
very solid,
Carlos Guillen,
solid
solid
player.
infielder, and then John Halama, who was a decent back of the rotation starter for about 4 or 5 years.
Freddie Garcia, I remember. That '05 White Sox rotation was ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was him, Contreras, Burley. Who else was in that rotation? John Garland.
Yeah, Garland.
There was some.
John Garland.
There was some solid pitchers in that rotation.
Or El Duque.
Oh, El Duque! I forgot. He was still there in '05, right?
Frickin', he was 9-2 with the White Sox in 2005 with a 5.12 ERA. Talk about getting a run support.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh,
El Duque.
I remember El Duque. All righty. With that all being said and done, Dustin, anything else we want to bring up on this lovely night?
Nope, just it's gonna be a little bit weird this week with no baseball till Friday. So for those who care to watch the All-Star game, enjoy the All-Star game tomorrow. Otherwise, you just gotta wait a little bit longer this week to watch more baseball.
Yep. And once again, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight on a very unorthodox start to the week for 609. Just so everyone does know again, if you haven't known already, Unbiased is off this week. Birds of the Gridiron is off. And so Hitting Home, of course, was tonight. We have DA After Dark tomorrow. I'm sure George is putting together some fun topics that we'll talk about. I know we do have a college football topic that I am bringing up tomorrow night on DA. So we have DA tomorrow night, and then we are off for the rest of the week, and we'll be back at it on Monday. So for everybody who tuned in tonight, thank you very much. Thank you all who commented in on the Facebook side. And of course, if you don't get a chance to see that, you didn't get a chance to see this live, you can go check it out on the YouTube and of course back on the Facebook page. Hit that like and subscribe on all the social media platforms. We greatly appreciate it. But guys, have a great rest. Well, have a good Tuesday since it's past midnight over in my area. And we will see you guys tomorrow for some DA After Dark. For Dustin Reese, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?